For a long time, DJ Khaled was one of the most successful artists in hip-hop, gathering up industry superstars and making huge hits on the regular. But after I recently saw this viral tweet making fun of him, I realized DJ Khaled has not put out an album in over 3 years, which is actually the longest gap between albums in his career. And on top of that, he even began rolling out an album before secretly deleting all of the posts, leaving a lot of fans wondering what happened to DJ Khaled and where did he go? Well, I honestly think he might be throwing in the towel with his music career, and I have 3 main reasons why. With the first and probably the most major one being because of his fallout with Drake. I've covered in the past why the fans and general audiences have had some hatred for Khaled over the years, but something seems to have changed. I tried to end the video on an optimistic note, talking about how Khaled was seemingly reinventing himself, and you can also still be successful in the music business despite fans not liking you if the music is good. But now it looks like even the music industry doesn't like Khaled anymore, and somehow it all leads back to Drake. Drake and DJ Khaled have been good friends and collaborators for the longest. Drake has been on almost every DJ Khaled album in the past decade, and if you don't know much about DJ Khaled, he relies on the features heavily. DJ Khaled is literally just an executive producer, a guy who gets a bunch of artists and producers together, gives his 2 cents on what they're doing, and then lets them make the song.
Now, don't get it twisted, I have a team and I praise my team. I'm not like these other guys that hide their team. And I come to artists and I present to the artists ideas. Every record has a different story. So I come with the artist's idea and they either love it, and if they love it, they contribute to it, they make it 10 times bigger. That's why you see everybody is a producer and a DJ now. But it takes a great producer like me to tell them sounds is garbage, they're fake. Don't fall for the trap. Let's go with these sounds. Let's do this. Oh shit, this beat you presented me is dope. Give me that. Watch what I do. I make records, I find records, I put records out. I'm a machine.
But like I said, all of this relies on DJ Khaled's ability to lock in great features. For the majority of his career, I'd say honestly his biggest strength was his ability to network with other artists and assemble the biggest names in music on his album. And one of those artists was Drake. Over the years, Khaled has expressed how much he loves working with Drake, how good of friends they were, and how much they supported one another.
First of all, Drake, man, is an amazing person. It's my brother, and he's really supported me a lot in my career, you know. And I met Drake obviously through Young Money, Lil Wayne, and the whole family.
It even turned into a pretty big meme eventually.
Khaled, is Drake on your album?
What?
Khaled, is Drake on your album?
They ain't believe in us. Drake did.
Drake did.
And I like
what Drake
like. You know what I'm saying?
Hey yo, Drake. Hey yo, Drake. Did the Drake vocals come in yet?
You know everything's top secret. CJ, did the Khaled vocals come in yet?
So clearly Drake was instrumental to a lot of Khaled's successful songs and albums, which is why Khaled was relying on Drake for his now canceled album rollout. In 2023, DJ Khaled began promoting his next album and was teasing 2 Drake songs that were apparently going to be on it.
Hey yo, Drake fan hub. You know I got 2 Drakes in the can, mixed, mastered. You know I got 2 Drakes, 2 champagne poppies on my album. You know that, right?
He was also running around with Drake posting these pictures of him holding up a sign that said, "I have 2 Drake songs on my new album coming 2024. Apart from people making fun of him for relying on Drake so heavily for this rollout, literally it was pretty much all of the promo he was doing, DJ Khaled also had another problem on his hands. His album was delayed for unknown reasons, and fans hadn't really heard much about it at all in 2024. Of course, a lot went down this year, including the whole rap civil war, Diddy getting locked up, so maybe in part that was why. But then in February of 2025, all seemed fine when DJ Khaled announced and began to roll out his next album, Aalam of God, saying online, "This is not my last album, this is my Black album, J Voice. Aalam of God, my 14th studio album, 2025. He said this because the Black album by Jay-Z was supposed to be Jay-Z's last album, but it wasn't. He also said, FYI, Drake's back to work, so am I. This one with 2 Drakes. He even put out this like 5-minute trailer with Mark Wahlberg advertising the album as if it were some intense movie.
This guy's got 2 Drake songs on it, okay, 2. What if he has another 100 fucking bar verse from Jay-Z? And that thing gets out on the fucking street. If it doesn't go through me, it's not good. Do you understand me? Get the fucking album and get Khaled. You get his fucking ass.
I kid you not, the entire premise of this trailer was that someone took a laptop that had the 2 Drake songs on it and they needed to get it back, and it also might have had that Jay-Z verse, but his whole rollout was exclusively about the fact he had 2 Drake songs. I have never seen an artist roll out an album and say, hey, you should listen to this because I have this artist on it twice. What about the rest of the songs? I don't know what he was trying to do here. That was bad marketing. And then, of course, everything came crashing down when Drake responded to Khaled's post saying, must be at Drake Bell. Everyone began making fun of Khaled for this with comments like cutting off the foreign aid. And then his album announcement was deleted. Drake Bell even chimed in saying, yo, DJ Khaled, hit me up, bro. And then he said there was a new DJ Khaled song on the way, so clearly he was joking around. Since this incident, though, the album announcement has been deleted, and DJ Khaled has said literally nothing about this album that was supposed to come out this year. Well, he did post the album name in a caption, but that was about it. An album that was supposed to come out this year with what seemed like a very expensive album trailer featuring Mark Wahlberg, a literal movie about the album, and tons of promotion with Khaled running around, holding up a sign, hanging out with Drake, trying to promote this album, all dead in the water because of Drake's comment. And after everything we saw about how much Khaled loves Drake, this must have been soul-crushing for Khaled. But why? Aren't they good friends? Wasn't Drake just with Khaled promoting the album a year ago? What could have changed between then and now? Well, there have been some rumors that go to show otherwise, and it shows a few reasons as to why DJ Khaled and Drake might not get along anymore. You know how I was saying that the Drake vocals thing was becoming a meme? Well, Drake put out this funny skit messing with Khaled, but honestly, it might have showed how Drake actually kind of felt deep down.
Khaled, man, like, this guy's off his rocker. It's like you give someone everything you have and they're just like, another one, honey, every 5 seconds on my phone asking me for something. And now he wants a video. And I can't do a video. I can't even make my own album in peace.
It's very possible that Drake is actually just tired of working with Khaled, and Khaled was always relying on his features like he was with that rollout. For example, there was a rumor going around that on the 2017 track To The Max by DJ Khaled and Drake didn't really want to do that song. This does come from DJ Academics, who isn't the best source, I'll be honest, and he's also kind of just Drake's henchman, but he suggested that Drake hasn't wanted to do multiple records with Khaled for a while.
The last 4 or 5 songs by Drake ain't even want to put out by you. That's a fact. That's a fact. You begged Drake for all those records, and he gave you all those records because you wanted it.
He said that the To The Max record was something that Khaled begged for so much and that Drake didn't want to do, so Drake finessed him for 95% of the publishing rights.
You remember that song called To The Max? Drake told you about no 55 times. You hit Drake team, he told you no 55 times. Drake didn't want this project out, or this song out, actually, because, you know, I was looking back at the timeline on it. He already beat the Meek shit already, but for whatever reason, based on what he was doing, this wasn't the song. Remember I told you there was an artist that was so desperate to get a song out with Drake that Drake took 95% of the song? Tell me if I'm lying. Khaled, Drake, anybody else. Don't ask me how I know. Drake owns 95% of the publishing on this song. That's a fact.
If this really is true, it goes to show that their relationship was not all butterflies and rainbows like they made it seem online. And if Drake really was that fed up working with Khaled all the time, it wouldn't be so surprising that he didn't clear those 2 new songs for Khaled's album. But another big part of the reason that he didn't clear those 2 songs, and I think probably the main reason, is because I bet Drake didn't want to do favors for Khaled after the rap civil war. Drake versus Kendrick's beef wasn't just between Drake and Kendrick Lamar, but instead involved pretty much every big name in hip-hop picking sides with either artist, which is why many have dubbed it the rap civil war. Kanye, Kendrick, Future, Metro Boomin, The Weeknd, Rick Ross, A$AP Rocky, and probably more artists that I'm forgetting all dissed Drake. While others like J. Cole, 21 Savage, Lil Yachty, and more seemed to align themselves with Drake, but from Drake's perspective, basically the entire industry turned against him. People he did objectively help out in their careers turned on him, and that's why after all of that went down, Drake expressed his issues with that. Like on the song No Face when he said, "People got lit off the features I skated on. I gotta know how you get lit off the guy that you hating on." Khaled never hated on Drake during this beef, but he was silent. And Drake did say on the song Blue Green Red, Friends that I treated like family, they were just hanging around. So I'm gonna guess Drake wasn't too happy about Khaled's dead silence throughout this entire thing. And they were saying some crazy stuff about Drake. So if he truly was Khaled's brother like Khaled was saying, wouldn't he want to jump in and say, no, Drake isn't a PDF file, or no, Drake doesn't have a daughter hiding somewhere, or no, OVO isn't working for Kendrick? Like, Khaled could have jumped in and said something. I mean, he said he was his brother, so, you know, I bet Drake felt some type of way.
But you linking up with all his ops. Yo, Khaled, let me tell you this. The fence sitting you did, I'm telling you, you're getting punished for that. You're not gonna sit quiet for 8 months while my guy gets jumped. And then as soon as you look up and be like, y'all done jumping him? I bet, let me drop a song with him. No, it's not happening. We couldn't get a fucking nigga, we didn't know where you were for 8 months. My boy was getting jumped. Niggas kicking him, stomping him, doing whatever. How the fuck you jumping out, Tomo? Hey, we got 2 new Drake out, 2 Trey songs. What?
And as much as I may have some issues with DJ Academics and his journalism, he is right, because why on earth would Drake give Khaled 2 features after what just went down? Throughout this entire beef, DJ Khaled stayed silent and did nothing to defend Drake. There was even a moment when Rick Ross was making fun of Drake for allegedly having nose surgery and then tagged DJ Khaled on his story, which had people saying online, DJ Khaled on the phone right now begging Rick Ross to leave him out of it. He needs those 2 features from Drake. And to be fair to Khaled, it makes sense that he was quiet, because no matter which side he picked, he would be alienating a large group of his collaborators. So he did kind of have to fence it. On top of that, DJ Khaled is on the same record label as Future, who was also going at Drake during that entire beef.
So, yeah, and Khaled's on Epic. Future's on Epic. Hell no, you're not getting a fucking Drake slap. Hell no, you ain't eating off me. I thought when he made the announcement that it was a little weird, because that's not the energy I was getting from Drake, is that he popping back out to
help
be
nobody.
Cameo man.
Help nobody.
It didn't, nothing felt like that.
As we saw after the big beef, Drake wasn't too happy with both the artists and the labels who were supporting Kendrick. So for all of these reasons, Drake did not clear his songs for Khaled's upcoming album and absolutely destroyed his rollout. But not only did Drake's comment ruin his entire album rollout, it's also possible that a lot of the other artists on the album had some clearance issues as well. And who knows if Khaled will ever be able to put out another album again with all of the divide that there is in rap right now. I mean, look at this track list on his last album. Rick Ross and Future have problems with Drake. Lil Wayne likely has problems with Jay-Z. Drake also doesn't like Jay-Z. Kanye went crazy. Gunna got called a rat, so he doesn't really like anyone anymore. Lil Durk is locked up. And even Kodak dissed DJ Khaled recently in a leaked song.
All we do is win-win. Fuck DJ Khaled. Fuck niggas says up.
I'm pointing all of this out to say, with all that's happened these last few years and all of the divide that there is in the rap game, how could Khaled possibly get a star-studded feature list together when no one gets along anymore and everyone seems to just be doing their own thing? During the big beef, everyone was making jokes about this on Twitter, saying things like DJ Khaled realizing he's going out of business. DJ Khaled is never making another album. Ross versus Drake is a nasty divorce. Who gets custody of Khaled? DJ Khaled gonna have to give 4Bats, Central C, and Ice Spice to make songs on his next album. All his regulars hate each other. So the entire industry is divided and DJ Khaled is left right in the middle like a child of divorce, with almost no one left to hop on his records. But it isn't even just the music industry and Drake that have problems with Khaled, because after not speaking at all, not once, on the genocide in Palestine, a lot of the fans are having issues with him now too. DJ Khaled is probably one of the biggest and most popular Palestinian celebrities in the world, which is why it may come as a shock that he hasn't spoken up once on the situation there. With the conflict being pretty center stage for the past few years, many public figures, including all sorts of different celebrities, have taken some type of a verbal stance. Part of the reason may be because historically many pro-Palestine supporters have been punished for their expression. Some bigger examples include CNN's pundit Mark Lamont Hill, who lost his job after advocating for a free Palestine from the river to the sea, or Hollywood actor Susan Sarandon getting dropped by her talent agency for expressing a similar idea. I'm gonna have a hard time pronouncing some of these things, just so you guys know, so I apologize in advance. A Palestinian-American journalist, Maisa Mustafa, wrote, "For me specifically, and for the hundreds of other little Palestinian-American kids from DJ Khaled's hometown in the West Bank, Khaled has always been someone to point to for proof of our ancestral village. Although it may seem small, there was always a level of excitement when we would see Khaled mention our hometown in videos or interviews. Any ounce of representation was appreciated, especially from one of our own. And after talking about his far-reaching and at times overlooked, embarrassing voice, she said what many angry fans were thinking. But the man who is so loud his voice is heard around the world has gone selectively mute, and only on one specific topic, with this topic obviously being about the genocide in Palestine. And while the Israeli-Palestinian conflict is nothing new, in the past few years, many became much more aware of everything that was going down, which led to an overwhelming amount of frustration for one of entertainment's most popular Palestinians, who has noticeably kept his distance from the subject. But it wasn't always like this. DJ Khaled has skated around this subject throughout his career, and in the past, DJ Khaled would sometimes speak about Palestine and everything that was going on. From his Allah chain to his hookah to his hit song Arab Money, DJ Khaled has capitalized on his Arab identity to set himself apart in the oversaturated industry that is rap and hip-hop. I'm not sure what they meant by oversaturated there, but regardless, he did heavily identify with his Arab origins. I mean, his original name was Arab Attack or something like that. But his commentary was still very minimal compared to what fans and other Palestinians alike hoped for.
You still have family in Palestine?
Yes, I do.
How do you get involved politically in the Middle East?
I get involved with the peace. You know what I'm saying? Meaning as I'm all about peace. I'm all about unity. I'm all about love, and I want my people, you know, to always be good. I don't see why it's a problem because I'm sitting here with you right now.
No problem.
Me and you have no problem.
Are you bitter about the hostility between the two?
I have to be bitter at anything that's gonna hurt my people. You know what I'm saying? I would never want my people to be hurt. So at the same time, it's like, you know, all I can do is pray every day for peace.
You think we'll ever have a two-state in existence?
I think so.
Like, some of the comments on the Larry King interview say things like, Khaled is beating around the bush. If he utters what he really feels inside, it'll mess with his career. Palestinians don't claim this man. Wow, Khaled finally spoke up about Palestine. Was starting to think he didn't care. And especially as of late with the war being a main focus in the news and media, many say there hasn't been nearly enough support coming from Khaled. And especially as of late with the genocide being a main focus in the news and media, some music fans though question if his silence is due to label reasons. This is because his label, We the Best, is owned by Universal Music Group, whose executives are not only some of Israel's most outspoken supporters, but also includes Haim Saban, who donated the largest sum, as of 2017, in the history of the Friends of the IDF, an Israeli military funding charity. Mustafa writes, is he just not interested in being associated with Palestine when it's too controversial, or is he too afraid of what it may cost him? Obviously, there's the risk of hurting his career, which, to be fair, is already very damaged at this point, but as one of the biggest Palestinian artists, many think he has a responsibility to speak up on all of the horrible things happening right now in Gaza. Another big moment of frustration came after Khaled posted a video where he was carried by his security to avoid scuffing his shoes.
I don't want to get my Jordans dirty. Can I get everybody to help me? Please, everybody help me. Get on the side. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
Some of the criticism came from actor and comedian D.L. Hughley, who said, "We're used to Palestinians being carried. They're just not alive. They're dead and they don't have shoes. They don't even have feet." From DJ Khaled to DJ Callous, you cannot be so oblivious that you forget that the images that you are portraying have an equal and opposite effect. And what it tells people is that if somebody that looks like them doesn't care, why should you? But many fans believe when it's time to stick up for his heritage, Khaled is nowhere to be seen. And it isn't even just the fans. Khaled's own cousin, Fadi Moussalet, has been criticizing his silence as well. Fadi, an entrepreneur, event producer, and rising reality TV personality, on multiple interviews has spoken about Khaled's disturbing lack of support on the matter.
DJ Khaled, yeah, I mean, unfortunately, you know, everyone has their reasons, but there's no reasons, there's no excuse when you're actually a Palestinian, you know what I mean? And for me, my mother lives there, you know what I mean? We're from the same village, same families. So like there's no excuse, and right now my heart and dedication is everything with Palestine, and I go there a lot. Like I said, my mother lives there. I do a lot of charity work with a lot of refugee camps there. I do a lot of fundraisers to raise money for Gaza and all the refugees outside of Gaza and the West Bank.
You know, we come from a small village, so like the whole village is kind of related, you know? So it's like both sides of the family.
Oh, wow. So like really close then. Wow.
Yeah. So they haven't been back since 1985. And it's just like, they just lost touch, you know what I mean?
But I'm sure he sees it, you know. I'm
Oh,
sure
no,
he
does.
sees
He
the
does,
like, what
yeah.
the hell, like, hello, like the comments. Everyone's like, you're Palestinian, bro.
You know, there's sometimes when you dig that hole so deep that you just can't get out of
that's
it.
true. You're just so
And
numb
I think
to
right
it.
now he just knows he's so deep down.
Damn.
Nothing's just gonna make
That's
up for
crazy.
what
Do you think
happened.
he
You know?
chose like money and fame over?
Absolutely.
Overall, it appears that Khaled has not only lost the support of his peers or his fans, but now his own people and family. And when Khaled's name is brought up now, it's almost always in a negative context, like when comedian Dave Chappelle recently used him as a punchline in a cautionary tale during his show in Abu Dhabi. At one point, while doing crowd work, Chappelle squinted into the darkness and asked, "DJ Khaled, let me tell you something. For a Palestinian, this man is awfully quiet right now. And why are you so fat? People are starving. He's the only fat Palestinian on earth right now." Or like when someone even said on Reddit, "The only ceasefire DJ Khaled wants is between Drake and Rick Ross so he can use them for collabs again," which is honestly probably true. Clearly his career is in a tough spot, and coupled with his silence on the genocide going on, it's looking very grim for DJ Khaled. But this isn't the only time he's been criticized. One of DJ Khaled's first major run-ins with criticism came when he had beef with Tyler the Creator. It all started when Tyler's Igor beat Khaled's Father of Assad album for the #1 spot on the Billboard 200 chart. Following this result, Khaled went to his Snapchat audience to complain and throw some shade at Tyler.
I gotta say this too. I make albums so people can play it. It's playing everywhere. It's called great music. It's called albums that you actually hear the songs. Not no mysterious shit and you never hear it. On your dome.
This was a bad look for Khaled, who always preached positivity, and on top of this, he also went at Billboard for allegedly discounting his album sales without warning. This whole temper tantrum caused a pretty big uproar, as many believe Khaled was crazy for even expecting #1.
But artistry has never really been DJ Khaled's strong point, as he's never really been an artist himself. He's been that guy that always sits on the side watching everybody else participate in the group project and putting his name at the fucking top, saying we the best in all his songs. Cool. The thing that made that tolerable for so long was the idea that you thought maybe, despite him not doing shit, he would be aware of it, you know? Like, all this time, I think we'd been tolerating that DJ Khaled cosign or that DJ Khaled brand on a lot of the tracks because we're just like, hey, it's Khaled, man. You know, he's a meme. He embraced his meme. He does funny things from time to time. Like, there's no reason to really hate on this dude because he knows, right? He knows, doesn't he?
And Sean C made a really good point here. Everyone thought Khaled at least knew his place in the game, but this made it seem like he didn't. At this point, in what seemed like overnight, fans went from viewing Khaled as a funny and likable guy to ungrateful and undeserving. I'm saying all this to say though, people hating on DJ Khaled is nothing new, but this time it's for much more serious reasons. Like I said though, people can hate you and still listen to your songs, especially since Khaled isn't even on the songs he makes. They go to the songs for the features, and that's cool. However, his issues with Drake and the divide in hip-hop are making it so he literally can't get these features and make songs anymore, and fans have no idea how he could possibly put together another album with all of his regular artists not being cool with one another anymore. I think the Joe Budden podcast summed up how a lot of people feel about DJ Khaled very well, and for what reasons.
The sign saying I got 2 Drake songs on the next album. Like, that's been his whole rollout, is I got 2 Drake songs, I got 2 Drake songs. You saw what the fuck I went through and you ain't said a word? You don't have 2 Drake nothings.
So Palestine went through and said a word. Talking about what Drake went
I'm just... They said a word about nothing.
Good point.
No, I ain't been quiet.
But as I mentioned, this isn't the first time DJ Khaled has been controversial, and if you want to find out more in depth the reasons as to why people have always had issues with him, feel free to click the video that's on screen now. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave a like, and not a thumbs down, a like, and subscribe down below. Other than that though, it's been your boy Matty Balls, and I'll see you guys next time.